Hey guys, Attorney Walter Hnot. Now, this is the part of every Thursday where I go live. And basically, I use this clip right here to go ahead and hook up the phone so that we can have questions from people who are calling in live. Now, as you know, I don't know of many other attorneys who basically take live calls and then answer them specifically about tough questions that they just have, they don't know the answer to. Some of these people are represented by attorneys. Some of these people are represented by advocates. Some of these people are not represented at all. But we're going to help all of them. And the thing is, people actually go ahead and call from outside of the country, which is really, really cool. Some people come from Hawaii, Alaska, etc. Some from the Philippines, all kinds of stuff. So what we're going to do is, I think we already missed a call. I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to, let's see, over here to go ahead and take the first call that we received that's part of this whole here we go. Okay. Now, just a quick thing. Remember, with this video, I always answer the phone. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? So that's the system we're going to be using. And we are now calling the first person. We're going to get them on the phone and get this ball rolling so that we can answer questions. Here we go. Okay, that's our second ring. Let's see if we can get this person on the phone.
Hello?
Howdy, Madame. Attorney Walter Hnot. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. We are live on YouTube. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
Oh, thank you so much for calling me. I really appreciate that. I would like to ask you a specific question.
Perfect.
Well, I have a bit of a unique situation, and I would be in the adult child disabled category.
Okay.
My mother has Munchausen syndrome by proxy and has always sabotaged my ability to get benefits. But I've been disabled since I was 19 from a traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
And my dad passed away, and my mother is now collecting retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So I meet the criteria. And my parents have enough earned income credits to where I should be able to get SSDI now. And essentially, I can't get my medical records to prove that I was disabled between the ages of 18 and 22, which is what I obviously need to do to get SSDI.
Right.
And my mother is completely non-compliant with that, and holds on to my medical records or destroys them. It's always a different story. My father passed away, and he held on to my legal records. So I don't have those either because she cleaned out his house.
Ugh. Okay. All right. So basically,
and I'm 36.
So you're 36. So that's not too much of a jump from when you were essentially 18 to 22. Can you tell me this? Do you remember what medical facilities you went to back in the day?
I can remember some of them, yes. The problem is that my diagnosing physicians and the physical therapy teams that I worked with have either all retired, their businesses have closed. So I've tried to go back and get old record copies, but they just don't exist. From 2006 was the brain injury.
Okay. So what was the date that you were de facto found disabled by the SSA to receive? And I'm assuming you're on SSI benefits?
I am not. Okay. The reason that I cannot get SSI is my mother partly supports me and will not tell me the amount. So the only reason that I'm actually able to even get SNAP is I had an advocate talk to DHHS for me and explain that my mother lies about the situation, and I do, in fact, live on my own.
Okay.
But because my mom partially supports me and will not give me those numbers, I can't make up numbers or leave blanks when I fill out the SSI form, so I always get denied. I've been denied like 7 times.
So, I mean, what kind of numbers are we talking about? Are we talking about, like, you know, household expenses number? Like, which specific numbers are the problem?
She pays the utilities and the power, or I'm sorry, the electrical and the utilities. Okay. So it's about $200 to $250 a month. It's a cheap little old house. It's not that much, but it's enough that a blank or not knowing it disqualifies me. Okay. And that's just for SSI. That's not for SSDI, which it's really tough to survive, basically.
So how much do you get per month in total?
I earn about $300 from online content creation.
Mm-hmm.
I actually kind of currently am staying with my former high school counselor and her husband because I couldn't medically take care of myself anymore. I'm on the wait list for a specialty clinic for a feeding tube.
Okay.
But I'm not going to get that till May, so I'm basically like starving until then.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So just to clarify real quick, basically, in this situation, you're living with somebody else. Your mother assists you financially, but how much do you get each month from the Social Security Administration?
None.
So wait a minute. Okay. So you're not on
Zero.
SSDI benefits in any way, fashion, or form?
No.
So your hope and dream here is to get on to disabled adult child benefits to tap into your father's benefits who passed away, because I'm guessing, was he the higher earner?
I'm actually not sure. My mom might be because she was a medical professional, but it actually might be her. I'm genuinely not sure, and nobody will give me information. So
just to clarify, so you literally are surviving off of content creation of $300 a month plus a little bit of money from your mom every month.
It's not even a little bit of money. It's just her name is on accounts. I would actually be able to get those paid for from LIHEAP. But to answer your question, yes, and I have a service dog. So actually almost all of my money goes to my service dog's medications and taking care of him. I basically survive on nothing.
Wow. So there's a lot of things that can be fixed here. When you were younger, like, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, did you work and earn it all, or were you not working during all that time?
I did. I worked as a promotional model mainly. Okay.
And so as a promotional model, I just had to check in with my dog because she's chewing another electrical cord. But
I just had to let mine out to go potty.
Oh, good. So basically, did you earn like more than, all right, so what do you think you earned? And, because what I have to do is I have to figure out if there's enough quarters of coverage here. Like, do you know what your date last insured is?
I don't know what that means.
Okay, cool. So you're going to call the SSA and ask them the following questions. Go grab a pen and a piece of paper, and we're going to get this all fixed, because there's no way you should be surviving on that. That's just insane. That's not cool. Yeah. Okay. So first,
pen and paper.
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready. Yeah.
I am.
First question you're going to be asking them is, what is my date last insured?
Okay.
Second question you're going to be asking them is, how many quarters of coverage do you have? Next question you're going to be asking them is, when can they file you over the phone for SSI and SSDI benefits? Again, SSI and SSDI benefits. Next thing, okay. Remind them that you would also like to attach a DAC application, a DAC application. That's a disabled adult child application.
I've never written this fast in my life, I don't think.
Oh, sorry, I'll slow it down. So,
no. I just want you to be able to get to other callers, so I'm trying to be really fast.
Perfect. Thank you. So the next thing is basically, you're going to set up an appointment time. They're going to go ahead and file you for all these things. And then the next question you're going to be asking them, can you tap into disabled adult child benefits on behalf of your father and or your mother? On behalf of your father and or your mother. Your dad, almost certainly. Like, this was your blood, you were not even if you were adopted, you had potential there, but like, you were born from this person, correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So as a result of that, bottom line is you should be able to tap into his benefits. I mean, you're going to see a significant increase there from your lifestyle, what you're living on right now. But so you're going to ask, can you file on behalf of your father and mother's benefits for disabled adult child benefits. Okay. The next thing that I need you to go ahead and do is write down a list of every medical facility you went to between 17 years old and 23 years old. The years that really matter are 18 to 22, but I want 17 to 23 years old.
Okay.
You are then going to send in, or actually, no, the SSA will send for medical records from those facilities. But what you should do is call the medical facilities ahead of time, give them your birthday, your social, stuff like that, and have them look up and see if you are still in their system. And
okay.
here's why. We're talking about, you're 36 right now, going back to basically proving that you were disabled, the day before you got out of being 22. So, the point here is they did during that, like we're talking 14 years ago, a transitional period where they moved from, paper files, giant, big paper files, big moving racks of files and folders over to a digi system called the CMS, Client Management System, for ROI. And what that means is that, essentially, they may have brought your records over digitally and digitized them. But if they deemed at the time when they were digitizing them that they did not have a legal requirement to retain them, to keep them, then they probably erased them, because a lot of these medical facilities, it's a 7-year rule for retention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I've run into a lot.
Yeah. So point is, now, if you can't get your medical records, you're going to have to search alternative means, which means like anything that proves. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I actually had a question about that. I was in college at the time, and I was taking 24 credit hours, getting straight A's, involved in a bunch of activities. Hang on. Stop.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm yelling at a cat.
Sure.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
But I went from taking like 24 credit hours, a term, and basically getting straight A's to not being able to finish a class. And in order to help me try to finish classes, I was given disability accommodations. Like I could take my tests in a private, quiet, dark room, and I got double test time and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if something like that might prove useful.
So you're going to want to get statements from the teachers that you had. You're going to want to get a statement from the school showing the accommodations that you received, and also who the school filed those accommodations with. Usually they'll reach out and file them with the government. Another thing, too, to kind of look into is that if there's a school nurse or medical person on, if you ever had to interact with them, you want to get their documentation if they have it. And that's a thing, like the school nurses notes, they keep that going back 1,000 years. So, that's like one of the oldest. Yeah.
And I'm literally living with my high school counselor. So
yes, that's perfect.
She could attest.
Yeah, so
me being more normal before the brain injury.
You're going to want a 795 form statement. So write down SSA 795. You're going to want to have that person fill out one of those explaining how you were disabled back in the day. The other thing you're going to want to get are letters from people who knew you back then, writing the limitations and examples of a story of how they saw how you were impaired and could not function or complete things.
Okay.
Yeah. And the next thing is basically, and somebody posted a comment here, which I thought was very, very good. I can't find it now, but basically you should ask the SSA if you're currently receiving any benefits that are going to your mom as a payee.
I did do that.
Okay, cool. And they said no, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So
yeah, because she had helped me apply in 2018, and I never heard anything back. So
gotcha.
That was kind of the suspicion for a while, but
gotcha.
She hasn't been.
Okay, gotcha. So get that information for me, get filed, get the ball rolling, and then from there we can kind of figure out the next step. And then just give me a call the next week, and we'll kind of keep pushing you forward.
Wow. Thank you so much for all of this information. Literally, like I say, you give your degree away for free.
Yeah.
You help homeless people, you help disabled people. I just really think you're amazing, and I know that everybody who watches your videos does too. I'm speaking for everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madame. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, Yeah.
You too, and the cat.
Thank you. All righty, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that person made a really good point. I'm going to take the next call, and then I'll hit that point after the next call. Here we go. Okay, real quick, and here we go. And we're putting it on speaker. Perfect. Okay. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
Would I be able to ask a question?
Yep. Just remember to use a fake name throughout the process. Go ahead and ask the question.
Okay. Hi. My name is Alan, and I've applied for disability here in California because I have a back injury, and I have some metal screws on my back that are broken right now. Okay. And I also have anxiety and panic attacks. Okay. The first time I was denied. Okay. I'm on the reconsideration process right now. Okay. But because my physical abilities have decreased, the state of California has approved me for a program called in-home services. Yep. So my question is, would that help my case in order to get approved for disability? So real quick, somebody actually just donated on the chat section. So I just wanted to do a really quick shout out to Earl Holmes. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. That's absolutely awesome. That's super, super cool. And it's got the doggy picture, which actually looks like Sweetie, who's sitting right behind me. She's no longer chewing the power cord, so that's awesome. To answer your question real quick, yes. In-home services traditionally, given to people who are on Medicaid or an emergency Medicaid allowance. What it basically is essentially proof that you're not able to function on your own at home without assistance. And as a result of that, kind of the bottom line is that is amazing evidence to show incapacity to do low SVP jobs. Okay, so in SSA land, what are low SVP jobs? SVPs go from 1 to 9, but we really look at SVPs 1 and 2. This is where you could basically learn a job in a short demonstration, or maybe a job in like a 30-day, explanation of how to do it. They're simple jobs. They're very low task. They're very low skill. And as a result of that, what happens is, bottom line, if you are not able to do basic household functions, we're talking about cooking, cleaning, laundry, paying bills, getting dressed in the morning, showering, doing hygiene-related functions, taking pills at an appropriate time, being able to, interact with the problems that occur with the house, being able to fix them, etc. If you're not able to do the functions of basic at-home activities, then that directly translates to high weight evidence to show that you would have an incapacity to not only get to the job, but stay at the job and complete tasks consistently, which in your case, you'd be off task all the time, not showing up every day. You wouldn't be able to complete all the functions required by the job. So yes, it's great evidence. The thing is, you would want basically one of your doctors to create an RFC letter, residual functional capacity letter, essentially explaining why you're required to have that. That way it backs it up from a specialist that you're currently seeing and validates what the state gave you as basically an insurance, opt-in help option because you needed it. Oh, wow. That's good to hear. So you think that'll increase my chances in the reconsideration process? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But remember, go get a letter from your doctor explaining why you need at-home care. That way it strengthens it because you need basically a medical physician to back the reasoning of the state to give you that in-home treatment. And if you have that, it's going to significantly increase the likelihood of you being found disabled. Wow, that's amazing to hear, man. Thank you very much for the information. I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. You too, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye. So what the prior caller was talking about that I think is really important. I do give a lot of my knowledge and degrees away essentially for free, but my degrees obviously weren't for free. They got up to like $500,000. So now down to around $300,000 in student loan debt. So when a lot of people are like, oh man, that guy must be loaded. Joke's on you. No, I have around $300,000 left in student loans. I have a mortgage just like most human beings. And basically the big thing that is very costly for me right now is that I am getting a loan
to buy my first rental home, shoot a bunch of videos of us restoring it, refurbishing it, etc., to post then onto this account, which is the tie into the business. And the whole idea is that this rental home is going to be kind of like my version of your version of benefits. And the reason why is this. It's going to take me about 25 to 30 years to pay off this home, right, off of this loan. And as the result of that, what will happen is after 25 to 30 years, I will be in my 60s. And when I'm in my 60s, I am not going to have probably the same type of retirement that you do. The retirement that I receive will probably be significantly reduced, or just much less benefits in general, like less health insurance, less this, less that, less accommodations. And so this house I'm trying to buy right now is probably one of the largest investments I'll ever make in my life, because it's going to ensure that I have money coming in from somebody renting it, which will be kind of like my version of a retirement check after I pay it off over the next 25 to 30 years. So that's why this house is so crucial, because, basically disability law firms aren't making that much money anymore. And, it's one of those things where I need a backup plan, because I know very well that the retirement that I will end up opting into in 25 to 30 years from now will be significantly different than what you guys are able to receive right now. So essentially, that's why it's crucial. And I always appreciate the donations that I can kind of get my future retirement set up, because I'm not going to be financially as safe as many of you guys are, which sounds crazy, because I know a lot of you guys are sitting there like, well, I'm not financially safe. But imagine having to spend another $300,000 just to pay off, after owning a law firm for 9 going on 10 years, the rest of the debt that's owed for the education path to be able to do that. So anyways, guys, let me call the next person real quick. Here we go. And let me get this going on. Boop. And let's see if we can get this person on the phone. It's on speakerphone. Let's see if we can get a ring out of it. There we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout the process. And also, would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
I'd like to ask you a question.
Perfect. Go for it.
Okay, I applied on February 1st with SSI over the phone, and on February 19th, I got a letter saying we are not going to find you eligible for benefits. Didn't have any reason or anything, just said you're not eligible. Is it like a good thing they're going fast and saying no really quick? I mean, that had to be before any medical records were, accumulated or anything.
Okay, so real quick, I didn't hear the first date because my brain just kind of turned off there, but how many days went by before you were basically denied?
18.
Okay, so at 18 days, you received a technical denial because you're not a TERI, a terminal illness-based situation, or a compassionate allowance listing, a CAL claim. So in this case, did you only apply for SSDI benefits?
Only SSI, because I had a case already in front of a judge, and they wouldn't reconsider it. They told me reapply, but only for SSI because I don't have any insurance left, from working.
So your new application for SSI was denied after 18 days, which means that you've got too much in assets somewhere, like too much of a resource, which is like you have too many cars, too many houses, too much money in the bank, something like that. So
I have nothing, and I haven't worked for 5 years, nothing at all. I have Medicaid. I have in-home help with, cooking, different things like that, but I have nothing under my name. Even the car I drive isn't in my name.
How many cars are still or have been under your name over the past 10 years, though? Like, how many cars are we talking about?
Over 10 years, probably 4 cars. 2 of them were repoed because I lost my job because of my disability insurance ran out.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Humda. Okay. All right. So bottom line is this. What we have here is a situation of the unknown. They could have made an error. You could have too much resources somewhere from, somebody attributing it to you, and, or somebody could have frauded your IRS stuff. And then all of a sudden you've got earnings on your account that would make you ineligible. Do you have any income coming in at all?
None.
When was the last year that you worked?
2017, I think it was. Yeah.
2017. Have you called them and asked them specifically why, was it a technical denial? Was it a medical severity denial? Have you called them and asked them why they denied you?
I didn't yet. The only reason being is I do have attorneys. They're the ones who told me to refile under SSI. So I figured, I'd send them a picture of the denial so they can give me a call. They just haven't yet. You just happen to be having your show before they called me back.
Do you know? Okay, so real quick, you had a DLI situation, date last insured, which you obviously ran out of, which is why they're saying only file for SSI going forward. Did you go to appeals counsel with that denial at the ALJ hearing level? Okay, and what did the appeals counsel say?
They said we will look at nothing. What the judge decided was good, and that was in September. Because I got a lot of information, those RFI papers, the functional papers.
Yeah.
By a lot of my doctors filled them out really good, and nobody looked at them. And I thought, okay, cool, they'll look at them this time. But obviously, in 18 days, nobody looked at anything. I'm hoping to the second time. I mean, obviously, I'm going to appeal it. I just thought it was so strange that it was so fast, and there's no reason. I thought, well, maybe there was something new going on.
So, okay, just to clarify, you had physician statements in the form of residual functional capacity letters, which showed that you were severely impaired, and yet you still lost. You took it to appeals counsel. The appeals counsel said, we're not going to consider a review. We decide with the judge. Why didn't you take it to district court?
Well, the judge didn't get to see those papers. Those happened after he denied me in September. I got these papers like in January. My lawyer said, get this stuff so we can give it to the appeals counsel. The appeals counsel says we will look at nothing.
Well, yeah, because you're not supposed to submit things post ALJ hearing when appeals counsel reviews, because that was your trial. I mean, so
I had certain lawyers. I had a lawyer switch in between. Binder told me, I don't know if I should name names. The lawyer said that it was probably malpractice what my other lawyers were doing, and that's why I lost.
So wait,
those forms should have been filled out. I should have been told about certain things that I wasn't told about. I don't know if that's true. It's just
so just real quick. So Binder represented you, but the attorney that they had representing you inside Binder switched at some point to a different attorney.
I'm sorry, I switched attorney because when they were judging, when I had the administrative law judge hearing, I had the different attorneys at that time, and they didn't do well at all during that hearing. And so I talked to Binder, and I decided to switch to them. I used a little firm, and then I went to a bigger firm. But they wouldn't look at anything, and so it wouldn't matter what Binder did,
Okay,
so then that's when they said do SSI, and they kind of pushed me to do SSI. They reminded me, which was good because I forgot.
All right. So just to clarify, you went from one firm that didn't tell you what to do. Then you went to another advocacy group, because that's what they are. That basically, but that basically said, go get these forms, we'll submit them, knowing that essentially, just to be fair, right? I'm not throwing stones at anybody. It is what it is, just to be fair. They said, go get these forms. We'll submit them. We'll get the judges to review them. Sometimes they'll incorporate some of the review into those forms, but technically they're not supposed to, because that is your trial. When you go to that hearing, that is your disability trial. So you got evidence knowing that potentially could not be considered, although maybe you didn't know that. And
I didn't.
Yeah. And then basically they did a review, said the judge's decision was good. They're going to retain it. Why didn't Binder then consider going to federal district court in your area, wherever that is, whatever state it is, to then appeal it forward to make arguments related to, improper representation, during and during the administrative law judge hearing, during and prior to.
I don't know.
Okay, so can I make?
That would be a good thing.
Yeah, so let me make a suggestion real quick. I don't know which state you're in. You can always send me an email later.
I'm in Ohio.
Okay, you're in Ohio. Okay, cool. Send me an email later, and I'll recommend somebody to take a look at basically your ALJ denial, AC denial, and whether or not there's a district court allowance option for basically appealing into federal district court outside of the SSA docket, and then hopefully getting a remand to AC, and AC getting a remand to ALJ for a case consolidation with the new one you're filing. So just shoot me an email. I do not usually take claims that have been denied, when they were already represented, because the attorneys take a fee. And the advocacy groups take a fee if you're found disabled. So I just don't do that anymore, because I spent, and it's just the bottom line here, I spent a lot of time taking claims from big box firms, winning them, and then having to basically pay, or the SSA would split my fee and pay those big box firms a portion of the fee, and I just wouldn't get the full fee, and it didn't make sense financially for me to do that. So I don't take claimants unless the firms that they were with prior withdraw for representation and fees. But in your state, I might be able to find somebody who does, and then shoot you basically that information and go from there. Because look, if you have strong RFC letters, and you can find multiple things that the prior attorneys did not do to properly prepare you and represent you before the administrative law judges, and you can show some evidence issues and some miscalculations on behalf of the judge in relation to weight of evidence and review of evidence and consideration notation and outlining things that they were supposed to. And there's even a constitutional argument that could potentially be used. But the point is, if I can get you somebody to potentially look at that, that would save your DLI, which would basically get you onto potentially SSDI benefits if you got a remand to AC, and if you basically got a remand back to the ALJ, and the ALJ had the option then of case consolidating this SSI. I don't know why, but the two prior groups, the firm and the advocacy group, they should have gone ahead and told you to file for SSI before the disability hearing, because you should have had a Title 16 claim added to your Title 2 claim, which is SSI added to your SSDI.
I did have both of them filed at the same time.
Okay, good. So that's a good thing. But you would have to call the SSA and ask them for the reason why the denial occurred. And it's either going to be medical or it's going to be technical. If it's technical, it's most likely going to be a financial thing. If it's medical, it's going to be a lack of severity thing. But remember, under the current situation, because those RFC letters were not used with the prior adjudication, you can still use those RFC letters now with the new filing. So you want to make sure those are submitted to the SSA, so that when they're CE appointments, when their consultative examination medical experts review you in person, and then their medical consultant, their MC, reviews the file in total and gives an update to the DDS rep, to help complete the DDE, the disability determination explanation report. Those RFC letters will be very instrumental in helping you be found disabled if they truly show that you have severe or marked or even extreme limitations. Yeah.
Okay. What, if I can ask, what's your email?
Oh, sure. It's WRH, again, WRH at disabilityresolution.com. Again, WRH at disabilityresolution.com. Send me an email. I'll try to find you somebody up there who could potentially work on a district court appeal. How many, like, what was the denial date on the AC denial?
The administrative law judges?
Yeah, no, the appeals council, the secondary denial. Yeah.
Geez, that was just I think that was just December. I think it was December.
In December. Okay, so remember, you've got a time limitation here. You can always expand that time using the 60-day expansion statute, being the 404.911 statute, but you're going to have a good reason. So, you're going to have to move quickly on this, call these people, get them on board, et cetera, et cetera. And, we'll go from there. So, yeah.
Okay, I really appreciate it. Never thought of all that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So guys, real quick before I take the next phone call, that's not a claim that I would take because I end up spending so much money getting basically fee splits with other attorneys. I just don't do them anymore. And to be fair, the firm is a popular firm, the disability resolution firm that I work for. So kind of the bottom line is we pick very heavily the claims that we want. But anyway, let's get to the next call real quick. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Can I go ahead and would you like me to ask me a question or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
I want to ask the question.
Sure, go ahead.
My question is, if you're on disability and you work, but you get out of your trial period, and once you're out of your trial period, do they tell you can make a certain amount of money? And as long as you don't go over that amount of money, can't you work all you want?
Okay, so the way it works is once you use up your 9-month trial work period, you have an additional 36 months of extended eligibility period, where if you earn under the substantial gainful activity amount, right, the SGA amount for 2023. So if you use up your 9-month trial work period, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you're saying if you use under the substantial work,
Substantial, yeah, gainful activity. We call it SGA, and SGA for 2023 is $1,470. Again, $1,470. So if you earn, and you're allowed to earn under the $1,470 per month, if you're only SSDI, right? If you have SSI benefits, it changes it. But if you're only SSDI benefits, regular disability benefits, you for 36 months can earn money under $1,470 per month.
But then after that 36 months, they try to cut you off, don't they?
Well, then the SGA, amount occurs, and they start looking at essentially, yeah, it can hurt you, yeah.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've used a couple trial periods, but not that many.
I mean, look, if you wanted to continue to work, do your trial work period, get in some months under the 36-month extended eligibility period, and then look into the option of the 5-year ticket to work program.
Go to the 5-year what?
Ticket to work program.
Oh, okay. That's after the 36 months?
Correct. Well, I mean, you could do it before the end of the 36 months. You could do it today. You could do it tomorrow. You could do it a year from now, 2 years from now.
Oh, okay. And then after that 5 years, you just have to stop, don't you?
After the 5 years of the ticket to work program, they cut you off the benefits because it's a carrot to get you off of disability benefits. But look, if you're earning some good money, and you keep earning and working and making your way, then you'll make more money than being on disability benefits, which, is a good thing.
Well, my thing is, my health is not really good. But I help my mom. She has dementia. So I help her. And, I do a lot of running. So, it helps me out with gas and stuff like that. Even though, I get paid, I can work 2 or 3 hours a day.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what I do.
So you could do part-time work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep in mind, kind of what we're getting at here is this. In your situation, the ticket to work option, if you can't work like full-time work, if you can't get up to that, you got to play the game of using your 9-month trial work period and then your 36-month eligibility period, and then look at other options. But there is the potential. It is a slim chance, but the Democrats are pushing basically the idea of having people get paid for taking care of their parents by going through a certification process that may be extended to those who are disabled to assist their parents on a part-time basis. It may not, but bottom line is that's being looked at. It was something that President Biden mentioned in his pre-White House website, and it might be something that comes into play down the line, because especially if he wants to be voted in as president again.
Yeah, I mean, I have placed the money. I'm in the shoulder replacement right now. I've had like couple tunnel release. I got a lot in my leg. I got screws in my knee, screws in my ankle, so this is serious. I got a bad old back. I got osteoarthritis. I got a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't want to take no chances.
Gotcha.
But sometimes I can't get up. I got somebody that can go there and check on mama when I can't.
Gotcha. Okay. Understood. Look, I totally hear you. Look, here's the thing. If I ever sold my law firm, I have a list of things that I want to do that I haven't put on the YouTube channel of changes. And the reason why is that I've actually begun the process of trying to push these ideas into the nonprofits in Washington, D.C., who can basically send them around to the people who essentially make changes. And I want to see if I can get some of them rolling and then promote and push them. And I want to hear their opinions on them, because, I'll come out with an idea and I'll be like, this is great. And then we'll kick it around with some of these really incredible people. And then all of a sudden, just unfortunately, they'll come out with something and I'll be like, I didn't think of that. It's a terrible idea now. So, I've started the process of kicking ideas around. Obviously I've been in this system for a while, doing disability benefits, and my main focus are Social Security benefits. But point is, your situation is not uncommon. It is extremely common, and we need to have a program for it. And we don't have a long-term solution, only short-term, mid-term solutions for your particular work capacity abilities. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I can't stand up to a regular hard job like I have done in the past. It just ain't no way. I'm pain management. I'm seeing arthritis out here. I mean, and this ain't no joke. I know a lot of people ship and jive with disability, but this ain't no joke with me.
Gotcha.
I mean, I try to go daily life, as much as I can, and do as much as I can. But I can't. Sometimes, and I have sleep apnea bad, which is I'm trying to get something else done about that, because I can't really wear that machine, and I can just be rolling down the road, and all of a sudden my eyes just take out for a second, So I got to be really careful within myself.
I gotcha. No worries. So let me get to the next caller, but look, go call the SSA and ask them about the Ticket to Work program so that they can send you paperwork or set up a meeting where they can kind of introduce you to the ideas of it. But that is not your long-term solution. That is only a short-term solution. And make sure you study Extended Eligibility Program, the 36-month program. All right?
Yes, I will, because I've been thinking about that.
Perfect. Well, I'll catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So, guys, I just want to do a shout out real quick to Benny Hill. He donated basically twice, which is absolutely incredible, $1.99, and then also $9.99, which is absolutely incredible, and I really, really appreciate it. I love the little fox with the swinging thank you. That's super cool. So thank you, Benny Hill. That's super amazing. We're going to do one more phone call, and then we're going to kind of end the night because I am super tired. I've been working pretty much day. I don't know if you can tell, my eyes are, kind of messed up from working super late nights. We're going to go ahead and take one more phone call real quick. Here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Please remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Remember to mute the computer on your end. And then basically, would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Attorney Walter Hnot. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you. I don't know if you can hear me. There we go. I just had a question. I'm under a CDR review, and I became disabled in 2017. Had 2 craniotomies for inner ear issues. One side went somewhat okay, but the right side did not. And still have very bad ongoing symptoms. And I just got my review in December like the 10th. And I have noticed when I've gone down to CVS to get prescriptions, which is a mile down the road, sometimes sheriffs will pull into the parking lot and come in. And I thought maybe somebody's shoplifting. But when I get my items, pay for my medication for migraines and a couple of small items, go to check out, the officer will also go to check out at the self-checkout and be right beside me. So that's happened twice. And then I've gone to the grocery store and noticed somebody sort of going aisle to aisle and sort of congregating around where I was grabbing a couple of items from the freezer section and leaving, and then them also coming to check out as I'm checking out. But if I've listed everything I can on my review form, on the CDR form, stating all my problems that I was approved for originally to get SSDI, I guess as long as I've told absolute truth about what I've listed, then I should have nothing to worry about. It was called semicircular canal dehiscence, and it's where the balance canal at the top of the canal broke. I don't really know how it happened. I used to work for Lockheed Martin. I used to travel a lot and fly a lot, 4 to 5 times a month. And maybe on the descents with me not clearing my ears, pressure would build up, and that might have played some kind of role in it. But anyway, I don't know how it happened, but it happened. It took about 3 years to be diagnosed correctly after going to many ear doctors, and finally a major university hospital, a doctor there was able to find the problem. But so I had 2 craniotomies. The left side went somewhat okay, but the right side did not. And I ended up having a middle ear problem from the right side surgery called a perilymphatic fistula, which is damage to the round window membrane. But I have, and it causes ongoing vestibular and cognitive problems, causes dizziness. Some days are worse than others. Pressure changes really affect me in my ear, so I cannot fly. I have to travel to bus or train if I'm going to the doctor at the university out of town. But wanted to know if I filled out those forms correctly, and I do strongly feel that I am being under review, or being they might have hired some investigators to follow me in or see my pattern. And grocery store, I think almost for sure. And I'm not being paranoid at all or anything like that, but when I know somebody really going aisle to aisle and then sort of hanging out if I'm looking for an item, and then come to check out when I check out, and then local police or sheriff's department will sometimes come to the CVS, which CVS has happened 1, 2, 4 times. 2 different CVS's within, one's 3 miles from my house, the other one's a mile. So it's found that to be a little weird, but I guess somebody, maybe a primary care or somebody like that might have thought that I might not be disabled to their standards, and maybe even help facilitate it. I'm not sure.
So, I mean, it sounds like you're just kind of worried that somebody's reviewing you. They're going to create evidence that shows that you have the capacity to do physical and mental functions that you claimed you couldn't do. And as a result of that, you're just saying, hey, what I put down in the forms on my limited, look, you could just say on, good days and bad days, you were out on a good day, because that's when you're going to go out. You're not going to go out on a bad day. So you have arguments to make, but obviously if they're catching you doing physical actions repetitively, continuously, that are outside of what's traditionally allowed with your impairments, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. But you can call up the SSA and ask if the CDR is still continuing. You can go ahead and even ask them if a CDI unit has been assigned to your claim. Because remember, this is a situation where if you're under investigation, the federal government is supposed to go ahead and respond that there is some sort of investigation going on. But the bottom line is, if you're worried about somebody going and creating evidence that shows that you have the capacity to go and work again because of them following you around at a grocery store, then what you're really saying to me is, I think that they got video of me doing things that normally I would say that I could not do.
On the form, I did state that I do go to the grocery store at time, and I do go to CVS within a mile down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, I do not. I usually stay at home, and the dizziness in the day, or the ear problem seems to be a little worse in the day. Hard to explain the round window that it regulates pressure. Like a blow-off valve in the ear, and it's damaged. There's a tear in it, and it can slightly heal so much, and then it will get worse at times. But the sunlight gives me migraine headaches and makes it a little hard on me. Plus, I don't like to drive in heavy traffic. I like for the traffic to die down a lot before I attempt to drive even down the road. But I filled out those forms. I did not lie at all, and I did say that I do go down the street to the CVS and to grab prescriptions and a couple of items, and then I go to the grocery store. But I do believe they are trying to maybe get video or pictures of me out and about to maybe disprove my claim. But I do feel confident in me telling the truth on the form.
Okay, so here's my thought process on this situation. What are you really asking me? Because you're not asking me the direct question. So what are you really asking me? And maybe we have to do a phone call after being live, and that's fine. But what are you really asking me?
Yep. So if I am under review, were they maybe having authorities? I'd watched your last show, and it was explaining how some people can be under review, and they will use local authorities to track that person and
right.
where they go, or like if they go into the store or whatnot. I can't say that I have a tracker on my car, but it's just maybe one in a very slim chance that I could go to the same CVS and go in there, and then a police officer stop and come in, and then it's normally, if I'm there more than 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, waiting on my prescription, and this seems like I'm under review, and they do have investigators checking my case file. My left side, it's a give or take. The surgery helps a little bit, but it does not solve the problem. But the left side went better, and then the right, I totally lost function. And so before I had bilaterally, and it was extremely difficult. But surgery did help to an extent, but it did not solve the problem, and it made me worse on the right side. So I guess they will figure that out once they do the review and get records from the doctors I have been to. But I am under review, and I feel like I might be investigated. I don't have the ability to find the tracker on my car if they put one on there. If a private investigator would not put one on there. But I don't have the software. I know you can buy the handheld device to pick up on certain frequencies and find it on your car. But I don't have that kind of money to buy the device to check that. Plus, I feel like I'm being honest anyway. So if they kick my case out, then I would have to get a good attorney. And like you said, there's not really many that will take on these disability cases anymore, at least not where I live. And I've done research.
I guess what I would say is this: what you're really saying to me is what's occurring to me. What sounds like traditional investigation tactics that they use. Usually, they don't go into the store and watch the person. Usually, a lot of the reporting is they arrive, they watch what happens from their van, they capture video, they capture footage, they capture photos, but they don't usually go into the facility unless it's something where they need specifically something to show your capacity to do things. Now, I have only one question for you, and then I gotta head out because it's 10:16 p.m. But how many times have you felt that they were investigating you at this grocery store over the past 2 years? Like, how many times do you feel that they've been watching you?
Yes, sir. I would say that it's picked up. I don't know a year ago because I wasn't really thinking about it. To be honest, a year ago, I felt like I was honest and truthful about everything. But about 2 months before I got that CDR form, I did notice a little weird kind of. I would park and then go into the store, come back, and somebody would pull in right in front of me. Wouldn't be there when I went into the store, but when I come back, a vehicle was there, and it has been a van, has been SUVs, tinted windows, couldn't see through, and cell phone come up, and they'll just sit there, and sometimes they'll turn on their headlights before I get to my car, so that if I look up,
you can't see into the window,
and I can't see in. Yeah, and the phone will be up above the steering wheel, and it's really not. They're not trying to hide that they have their phone up, but and that's usually an SUV, and I feel like maybe that was possible recording, and I thought I might have a tracker on my vehicle for the reoccurrence of that situation happening with. I go into the store, nobody's by my car, I come out, there's somebody right in front of my car or to the adjacent spot, and cell phone comes up, and it's normally an SUV type car and tinted windows where you can't see in.
Well, they wouldn't be using a cell phone. They'd be using more professional. I mean, they do use that sometimes. Look, they're only going to do it a couple of times to get the evidence, and they're going to move on. They're not going to spend a bunch of money on you unless it's worth it. So, I mean, look, you may not be a high value target, which means they're not going to spend much time on you if they are investigating you. So is there anything that makes you a high value target for them?
If they're looking at, if they've got, I don't know, Social Security looking at my case and thinking that I might be better from where I was from before surgery, I don't really know for sure, but I know some people have back problems, have surgery, and get a little bit better with their back problem to a degree. And that's sort of how mine plays out, but not quite. It's different.
All right, man. So you're nothing about what you're saying is making you a high value target. You're not working at some company where they're paying you a bunch of money. You're not frauding the SSA in some way. You're just saying, hey, man, I might be a little bit better than when I was found disabled. None of that makes you a high value target, the stuff that you're saying. So I wouldn't worry about it. You're going to get a review notification. You can always, if they did have a CDI unit investigating you, request the actual investigation notice that they created, with all the notes, details, where they saw you, what you were doing, etc. Look, I've had a lot of claimants with this situation, where they were caught at a bar dancing drunk, or they were, working for some major corporation under the table. I've had this stuff, but anyways, so good, sir. The first thing I would do is call the SSA, ask them if there is a report created by a CDI unit that they can send you related to your claim.
Okay, absolutely. Yes, sir. I will. I appreciate that guidance. Last thing is I turned my review in to the local Social Security office. I was getting all my records together and making sure I had everything filled out correctly. Sure. And I wasn't going to meet the deadline mailing it in, so I went directly to the Social Security office and handed it to a worker at the Social Security office, handed it right to one of the workers there, and they said they would scan it in, and then 2 weeks later I called just to check the status, if everything got into the system to meet the deadline, and they said that they did not see that it was scanned in yet. Okay. I handed handed it into a person, put it in their hand.
Stay on top of them. That's kind of the bottom line here. Stay on top of them and keep rolling forward. But just update me as things progress. You can always check in with me next week, next Thursday, and I can kind of give you what to do next. But the big thing is ask them if a report has been created using a CDI unit, and that you'd like a copy of that sent to you.
Yes, sir. I sure will. I really appreciate it. It's an honor being able to talk to you. Thank you for your help.
Absolutely, good sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too, Walter. Thank you.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, and the phone's about to run out of battery too. So here's the deal, guys. We did a live session. Every Thursday I go live 8 to 10 p.m. today. So if you're watching this down the line, you're thinking, oh, it's live right now. Today is 2/23/23. So 8 to 10 p.m. kind of gig. Next Thursday, I go live again to answer specific questions about Social Security disability law. Give me a call and we can always go through them. Please remember the big things that help me are to like, subscribe, and leave 5-star reviews. Again, to like, subscribe, and leave 5-star reviews. I'm going to be putting specifically the link of how to leave a 5-star review in the little chat section. I'm also going to be putting a link as to something that I want to do at some point, which is a class action fraud lawsuit. So you have those two there. I will catch you guys a little bit later. Please remember to take care of yourself. Things in the distant and not too distant future are looking scary. I did get an update from a security expert today about basically what's happening in Ukraine and how it's spreading. So I'm going to really try to get him to give an update specifically as to what happens if World War III does occur. And what will happen for those who are fixed income individuals, and what will be some of the first items that will be on the to-do list for those who are retired, disabled, etc. So that everybody's just prepared. Hopefully, and we all wish and we all want in a very aggressive manner that there will not be a growing of this war between Russia and Ukraine. But unfortunately, some things have recently happened that have made me nervous. And I'm going to tell you one other thing, and this is important. I have kept and paid an office space where basically, my intention was to meet with clients, to do disability law stuff. And then, of course, I go to other locations where I meet with the homeless. And, and then this office was not for the homeless. I have been paying for that office and have not been to it for 3 years. So everything's telephonic now, video telephonic. I still go to hearings in person. I still go meet with the homeless at homeless offices in person. But this other office, I haven't used it in 3 years. So I'm actually going to be not having that office in the future and just basically setting up one of the homeless office locations as my office where I meet with the homeless. Because when people aren't homeless, I can fax them stuff, email them stuff. I can mail them stuff. They can mail me stuff back. As long as they can read and write and return stuff in the mail, we're good. So that's a heads up too. But anyways, guys, I will catch you a little bit later. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave 5-star reviews, and we'll go from there. And please take care of yourself, and I will catch in with you in the not too distant future. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.